Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock on Thursday, September 21st, and I call the meeting of the Bellevue Planning Commission to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we do our roll call vote, I want to welcome Tara Baumgartner to the Planning Commission. Welcome aboard, and looking forward to working with you. We'll do a roll call vote at this time.
Madden,
Present.
Casey,
Present.
Kane, here, Smith, Baumgartner,
Present.
Jacobson,
Here.
Ackley, Ritz. Thank you.
Great, thank you. This meeting will be conducted in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, a copy of which can be found in the back vestibule of this meeting room. At this time, I would ask that all commissioners and audience members take a look at your cell phone or other electronic devices and put them on stun or turn them off if you would. Anything that could disrupt our meetings, if you'd put on standby, I appreciate it. Also, please note the emergency exits are directly behind you and to your left in the audience, out into the hallway, and you can go out either way to exit. Also in the hallway is a defibrillator in case that's needed. If you have any other issue come up that you need some sort of emergency help, please let me know, and between myself and Chris, we'll get 911 called and get you assistance. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to review or approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes of our August 24th, 2017 regular meeting.
Motion to approve is written. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Ackley, a second by Mr. Casey. Please vote.
All in favor, motion carried.
Great, thank you. Motion minutes were approved with no revisions. I'll make note of that. At this time, I'll accept into records all staff reports, attachments, memos, handouts regarding each application. Staff, any updates?
No, there are not.
Okay, great. We have a motion to entertain, to accept all of our,
So moved.
okay, we have a
Second.
motion and a second by Ms. Kane and Mr. Smith. Thank you. Okay, we will move on to, we need a vote. Yes, we do. Please vote. Thank you.
All in favor, motion carried.
Great, thanks. Okay. We have no consent items tonight on the consent agenda, so we'll move right to our public hearings. We have 2 public hearings this evening. I will announce each case and then ask if there are any updates from the planning department. After that, the applicant will have an opportunity to present their request. After the applicant has been heard, the public will be allowed to provide any testimony that they would like considered into the record. Those testifying, please come to the podium, state and spell your name and address, and sign in for the record. Testimony should be limited to 3 minutes, and I reserve the right to shorten that time if we have a large number of people coming forward. After testimony is taken, the applicant will have an opportunity for rebuttal, and I will close the public hearing. I will then invite the commissioners to make their wishes known, which may include requests for clarifications or other discussions, as well as making a motion to either approve or deny the request. At that time, I'll restate the motion and as needed resolve any issues related to the motion in the second, and then the commissioners will vote. And at that time, we'll move forward. Above all, please treat others as speaking in the same manner as you would like to be treated when you're speaking. Our first public hearing tonight is a rezoning request for Lot 1 Southeast Plaza from BGH to ML for the purpose of industrial use. The applicant is Holmcap, Doral, and Jobin. I probably mispronounced that. I apologize. Location is 909 Fort Crook Road North. The case number is Z-1706-04. Staff, any updates?
No.
No updates, great. Applicant, if you would come forward and please state your name and present your request for us, please.
Sure. Brent Beller, B-R-E-N-T, Beller, B-E-L-L-E-R, address 11440 West Center Road in Omaha, Nebraska. And I am here on behalf of the project applicant Marathon Equity Group, DBA Marathon Ventures. So before you tonight, is the rezoning request from BGH to ML. This is the site, 5.22 acres. The building itself about 66,000 square feet. This is an expansion of the existing Marathon Ventures operations. Just a little bit of background for those who don't know. Marathon Ventures is a food processing facility or operation. They process nuts, popcorn, coffee. They have acquired this building, which they actually have the building just to the south, and they acquired the No Frills building, which was a supermarket for 30 years or so. So this allows them to expand their operations north and kind of control that whole parcel. The rezoning request tonight is the same request, the same zoning that we received for the existing operations for the light manufacturing. In connection with our application, we submitted a landscaping plan. This adds the city's required 15-foot buffer on the north, 30 feet on the west side, and I believe as submitted, that landscaping plan was approved by the city planning department. And if Tammy or Chris, if I'm off on that, let me know. But as pursuant to the comprehensive plan, this use or this property is located in what's a flex space, and this use does comply with that as well. So with that, we're here to answer any questions or comments.
Okay, great. Thank you. If you would have a seat for a few minutes, we might have additional questions. There anybody in the public testimony would like to come forward and provide testimony on this matter? Either in favor or in opposition, please come forward. State your name and sign in if you would. Seeing nobody coming forward, I will close the public hearing and turn it over to the council. Commission for discussion. Commissioner, what are your wishes?
I think it's a good use of that property. Obviously, it ties in well with the zoning next door. Ms. Palm, if I remember right, the previous zoning on light manufacturing was done probably under a prior zoning ordinance that allowed for retail operations. And I think they currently have retail in that other facility. The ML on this side, I believe, will restrict that based on the zoning. So again, if there's any plans for moving the retail operation, that is a difference. Even though the zoning would be the same, I think the old ML is under the old ordinance, which allowed retail, and the new ML does not. So that's the only thing I'd highlight. Otherwise, I think it's a great use of that property, and it fits in well with the other light manufacturing we've done in recent years. So thank you.
Any comments? Would entertain a motion at this time.
With that, I'd make a motion to approve of the change of zone based upon conformance with the zoning ordinance and the comprehensive plan, as well as a lack of perceived negative impact on the surrounding area.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Ashley, a second by Mr. Madden. Commissioners, please vote.
All in favor, motion carried.
Thank you. This will go to the City Council for public hearing on October 23rd. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Our second public hearing is a request for approval of the redevelopment plan for Lot 1 Southeast Plaza, applicant Marathon Equity LLC, location 909 Fort Crook Road North, case ECD-45. Staff, any updates?
No, they're not.
Okay. Applicant, if you would come forward and sign in and state your name and present your request.
Brent Beller on behalf of the applicant Marathon Equity. Obviously, this is the second portion of our presentation or our development. With the redevelopment of this property, there's going to be an entire basic regut of the interior and exterior. Looking at the site plan presented before the council, you'll see that extensive landscaping is going to be done on the exterior. And the idea here is we're drawing from what we did on the south, bringing it to the north, making sure all that obviously complies with city requirements. Additionally, all the building exterior paint will be redone, remodeled. You can kind of see on the depiction itself, but what used to be the drive-through for the grocers, I imagine at one point in time folks came in there and picked up their groceries in that enclosure. That's actually going to be enclosed now, so be part of the building. In addition, I'm not sure how many were involved with the original development of the south building, but there was extensive damage to the roof This roof is not nearly as bad as that roof was, but they will be redoing the roof, replacing it. On the interior, because this is a food processing plant, because the equipment that they use and bring in for the various food processing and packaging operations, a lot of walls will be demoed. A lot of new rooms will be created for their equipment manufacturing. In addition, they are going to be redoing rather than repairing a lot of the HVAC, a lot of the electrical, and that was part of the TIF the TIF request, was because those expenses were a bit more to actually put in new facilities. The cost for the overall redevelopment project went up. With that, I will also say that the ceiling inside the building, that will also be demoed, repaired, all new lighting, all new ceiling again, and they have to be mindful of the government's requirements for food processing. So a lot of interior work goes into a process or a building like this. They're going to be opening up the party wall between the two operations, so they won't be, to my knowledge, they won't be doing the retail on that side, but it will be a cohesive food processing plant that'll basically be one building after all is said and done. Currently, 75 employees are here at Marathon Ventures. They'll be adding 25 more. Their estimates was about $1 million in TIF eligible expenses. Their acquisition cost and basis in the property is 1.3. So a value of about 2.3 million when all is said and done, which equates to a TIF amount of approximately $438,949. And then just quickly, the return on investment with TIF is about 3.9%. Without TIF, and this is if they were to monetize this with the lender, which we don't know if they're going to do just yet, is 1.59%. So with that, we appreciate the commission's consideration and happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great, thank you. Hang on for just a second. We'll turn it over to the public for public testimony. If anyone cares to provide testimony on this matter, whether in favor or in opposition, please come forward, sign in, and state your name. Seeing nobody coming forward, I will close the public hearing and turn it over to the commissioners. Commissioners, what are your wishes? Mr. Madden?
You know, there's a lot of a lot of conversation that's been out there, especially with respect to certain legislative bills that came out of the last session about potential abuse of TIF. My review of this project doesn't really trigger any of those concerns. This is the exact sort of urban-ish infill type project and expands on an existing use that I think the city is in dire need of, and it's a development that I think goes a long way towards maybe hopefully spurning some other development in the community. So those are my 2 cents.
Thank you, Mr. Madden. Any other comments?
Mr.
Yes, Ms.
Jacobson,
Kane.
I would like to comment that I think that Marathon Ventures has done an excellent job in the upkeep of their current building and the landscaping. Everything that we were told you would do, you did. So I do appreciate that, and I'm assuming other members of the commission would too. I agree with Mr. Madden's comments also.
Great, thank you. I had one question probably for staff and more to make sure I have a consensus understanding on this, is if we go to the overhead view again, with the additional and increased volume that's going to take place, there's no change. I didn't hear any comments on traffic patterns being a significant issue at all, and shouldn't be any issue, so.
No, I should have mentioned that. No, so number one, no additions or modifications enlarging the envelope, the building envelope are happening here. In addition, all existing curb cuts will remain.
Remain the same.
Nothing new.
Okay, good, thank you. Like the other commissioners, I think this is a great use of the area and very welcomed expansion to the Bellevue area. Any other comments? No? Commissioners, what are your wishes? Somebody would like to make a motion at this time? Mr. Madden?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the redevelopment plan for Lot 1 Southeast Plaza as presented on the agenda.
Great. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Casey. Thank you. Commissioners, please vote.
All in favor? Motion carried.
Motion carried. Great, thank you. This item will go to the City Council for public hearing again on October 23rd. Is that correct? October 23rd it is.